Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Gould and I'm a special educator. And I'm going to talk to you today about trying to help teach your kids how to understand the concept of same. So if we think about our numbers and our letters and how they are different, and we think about the patterns of numbers and letters that we need to use in order to understand those concepts of quantity with our numbers and letters representing words that have sounds, the very basic fundamental core to that is understanding the concept of same. So this lesson I'm going to show you how to do is all about trying to teach your child same in a very tactile experience kind of way. So first, let's look at some of the materials that I have laid out on the table. You're going to want to go around your house right now and pause the video and find some things that are exactly the same. For our purposes right now, we want to make sure that it's things that the kids can hold, touch, and interact with. When we're talking about children with disabilities, we want to make sure that they can interact with it in a variety of ways. So you want to look for things that visually might be stimulating or might have a certain kind of texture to them. You don't want to find things in your items that you don't want kids to touch or that maybe can break. So I went around my house already and I came up with some items and I have them set out on the table. I'll show you. So you'll notice that I already have them paired together. Okay, the reason for that is because I'm not trying to trick the student right now. I'm just trying to teach them what the same means. So for our purposes right now, I am also going to use some basic ASL sign language for the same. So it is a way that your child can interact with their hands kinesthetically so that they have some movement in their learning as well. So one of the ways we can do that is by making a Y, and you are going to just rock your Y back and forth between the items that are the same. So if I have the same shirt as you, we might do this. And I'll show you that as we go along. Another way that we can represent the same is by using a pointer finger and another pointer finger and bringing them together. So we have one item over here that is the same and one item over here that is the same, and we bring them together. So I will model that for you as well. So first, let me show you what you will want to do when you're sitting down with your child trying to understand this concept. So I'm going to use this star. It's kind of like a soft cloth material, and this star cloth material. And I'm going to lay them out on the table right in front of the student. So I have two cloth towels. This one, I touch it, I feel it, I describe it. It's soft, it has some stars. This material is soft and it has some stars. They are the same. And so I'm going to actually want to, sorry, the angle is not very good here. I'm going to actually want to point to this star towel and this star towel and do the same. This star towel and this star towel are the same. Or I can use my Y. This star towel and this star towel are the same. It's the same. Here, you try it. And I'm going to place it for them so that they can touch it and they can feel it and look at it. And then they can touch this one and feel it and look at it. And you have them try to do the same or have them do the same. After they're done with this, kids tend to play with whatever you have in front of them. So once this is done and you're done describing same with this one, you want to give them a lot of praise. Give a high five, give them a hug, give them a kiss. They're your child. So in school, we can't give kisses, but we give lots of fist bumps, high fives, things like that. But they're your kid. Give them a hug. Yay! Show them how proud you are that they're working hard, and then they'll want to please you more. So once I'm done with this, I'm going to place it on the side so that they cannot touch it anymore because they'll want to keep on touching it. Okay. My next object is some highlighter markers. So I'm going to show them This is a yellow marker. Wow, that's great. It's a yellow marker. I have a yellow marker. I have two, a yellow marker and a yellow marker. They are the same. Yellow marker, same. They're the same. Yay, I did it. It's your turn. Give them the yellow markers. Do the exact thing all over again. Let them help them, model them to do the same. Give them a high five. Give them a hug. Fantastic. Moving on. I have just plastic bread containers from bread that I made yesterday. Made good French toast, actually. Just 2 bags. I can touch these bags. I can feel these bags. I can see the picture on the bag. Some children may not be able to see. Some children may not be able to hear, but they can still feel it. They can still maybe put their hand inside it. Some students can definitely, obviously, see these bags. But if they can't, it still feels very different from the marker. It still feels very different from that star soft cloth that we had. So trying to make sure that we have items that are very different depending on the disability that your child may have. So in looking at these bags, I'm going to do the exact same thing. This bag has some bread. This bag makes a crinkle noise. This bag has some bread. This bag makes some crinkle noise. They are the same. They are the same. And if your child has a visual impairment, you can model for them what this pointer finger looks like and hold their hand. And you can do the same thing over here and hold their hand and bring their hands together so that they can still feel what their hand should look like when they are doing the same. The next item that I have is some soft gloves. Everybody has gloves this time of year. Unless you're lucky and you're living somewhere really warm. I live in Vermont. It is not warm. There's snow outside still. We had a couple warm days, but it's gone. So I have 2 soft gloves. I might even put my child's hand inside the glove so that they can feel that these gloves feel and look the same. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to lay it on the table and lay it on the table. This is a soft glove. It's purple and tan. This is a soft glove. It is purple and tan. They are the same. The same. One glove, the same. You try it and have your child try it. Another item I found here that most people have in their house are washcloths. I have 2 of the same exact washcloth. Both green, both square, both the same size. Again, for our purposes right now, we're trying to get them to understand things that are the same, so we don't want to confuse them with different sizes or slightly different colors. We want everything to be exactly the same. So I lay it out on the table, and I lay this one out on the table, as you can see. Okay? And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to talk about what they look like. So this one is a square. This one is green. This one is a square, and this one is green. It's a little bit rough, a little bit soft. It's kind of hard to describe. This green towel and this green towel are the same. They are the same. Here, you try it. And you can really let your kids, depending on the disability, interact with these for any amount of time that they want to in order to understand that you are giving them 2 items that are exactly the same. Another item most people have around their house are some bowls. I happen to have 2 plastic bowls that if my child was to throw these aside or in the classroom, throw them aside, they're not going to break. I do not recommend that you use anything that will break if your child throws it aside because sometimes when they're done, it just goes flying. Okay. So I have 2 bowls that are the same. I can describe them. They are circle They're white. I can put things inside my bowls, okay? I can take things out of my bowls. I can turn my bowls over and I can drum. These bowls are the same bowls. You try it. Let them turn it over. Let them try to drum. Let them put some things inside. These bowls are the same. Nice job. Yay, I'm so proud of you. I have 2 more markers. Now, as time goes on, you can explore with some other markers and putting different colors together. Right now, because we're just teaching the same, we don't want to confuse them. So we just want things exactly the same. So even though markers are markers are markers, that's more categories, and that will come a little bit later. These markers are exactly the same. So I'm going to do the exact same thing with the markers. I also have 2 things here. Spoons, plastic spoons. You can use plastic spoons, metal spoons, it doesn't really matter. But because of coronavirus, we want to make sure that we're washing whatever the students are touching, just to not spread the germs. So I chose plastic spoons for this demonstration, just because if you want to, you can throw them out afterwards. And again, if they go flying, they're not going to break windows. They're not going to break a computer that happens to be sitting next to you on the table. Fairly non-invasive if it gets thrown. So examining the spoons, feeling the spoons, they're 2 white spoons. What do we do with a spoon? We eat with a spoon. I can eat with this spoon. I'm really describing what those spoons are. And then the last item that I have here are two containers of glue. And I chose these because they're kind of colorful. Again, I just have them in the house. They feel very different from everything else that I have here on the table. And we're going to model and do the exact same thing with our bottles of glue. Okay, and I hope that you have learned from this and that you can take some items from around your house, set them out on a table, and try it yourself. Thanks.